Hello, this is Dan.
And this is Ravi.
And before we get into this year's Retro Hour Super Quiz, our Christmas special, we just want to say a massive thank you to the people who've kept the show going throughout 2017 and into 2018, and that is our very special donators.
We absolutely love our donators. Without you guys, we still wouldn't be going.
Exactly. So thank you and Merry Christmas to Chad Goulding,
John Barrick,
William Darren Fox,
and Thomas Hyman.
And if you'd like to join that list and find yourself in the Hall of Fame on our first show of 2018, all you've got to do is nip onto our website, PayPal, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. We accept it all. Head to our website, theretrohour.com. Hello and welcome to the Retro Hour Podcast annual Super Quiz for 2017. Yes. Now this is our Christmas special that we do every year. We take a break from interviews, we take a break from the news, and it's all about the knowledge. So I'd like to welcome back our reigning champions, Oliver Wilmot from the National Video Game Arcade and Paul Drury from Retro Gamer Magazine.
Boo! That's the kind of sporting behaviour expected from these losers.
Yeah. So if people didn't miss last year's show, it was quite a victory you guys had.
It was closer than you perhaps remember, but yeah, we were very pleased.
We're going to thrash them again, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
probably. Set ourselves up.
Well, we were hanging out, weren't we, Play Expo in Manchester. I chatted to Paul at the bar. I was like, you going to come on the quiz again this year? He's like, of course! Like that, so, yeah. Straight back to, you think you're going to take it? Any feeling confident?
I think they've been revising hard, which is slightly disturbing. So we'll
we really
see.
haven't.
We'll do our best.
Well, let's say hello to the Retro Hour team. Ravi and Joe Fox, last year's losers.
Thank you. It was close. It was close, as Paul said.
Yeah. We need to represent for the podcast.
Yeah, we need to represent.
Well, thinking back to last year's quiz, I remember, because Joe actually told me a couple of weeks ago, he said felt really bad. He said I was thrashing Paul and Ollie halfway through the quiz, and then we had that big turnaround. I think it was the Atari round and the computer one that cost you last year?
It was the Atari round and the computer round, and I think we got 1 out of 20 right. And they got every single one of theirs right.
and that was the kind of comeback.
It was just like, oh, okay.
Knowledge is the bomb.
That's how it can go. So I'll quickly explain the rules. So we're going to have 10 rounds of 10 questions, all going to be based on various eras, types of games and systems. I'm going to ask the questions in turn. If you don't know the answer, then say pass. If I feel that you're taking too long on a question, I'll start a 10-second countdown, which sounds like this. So you'll hear that in your headphones. And then afterwards, if you get it wrong, I'll pass it over to the other team. If you don't answer before the time runs out, you'll lose that point. Get the question wrong or pass, the other team will have a chance to answer it. I'll only accept your first answer as well, so think before shouting out. I direct that to Ravi.
Have to be very careful.
And I have tried to ensure that all the questions are accurate, but, if you disagree with anything, leave it till the end. We can have an argument then. Samantha is a quiz mistress in the corner. And bearing in mind, Samantha's been off work for a couple of days and she spent a lot of time with me. She probably is quite cranky. So
okay.
Just putting that out there. So what Samantha says goes. And obviously the team with the most points at the end of the quiz will be crowned this year's winner.
And listeners, you can play along as well.
Play along at home, of course. So we're ready to get into round one?
Yep.
Okay, I thought we'd start this one nice and easily. Who do you want to go first, Samantha?
Oh, what?
Which team? You think, oh, okay.
Oh, yes.
Home turf, right then. Give you guys a fighting chance. So, going first then, Ravi and Joe. And we'll ease you nice and gently into this year's quiz.
Oh, God, here we go.
Here we go. Question number 1. This is about general knowledge, round 1. Which best-selling puzzle game requires the neat arrangement of tetramones?
Tetris.
Yes.
Sorry, Ravi.
Question number 2.
It's fine, I know it.
For Paul and Ollie. Pinky, Blinky, Inky and Clyde chase which legendary character around a maze in which classic arcade game?
Pac-Man?
Pac-Man is correct. Ravi and Joe. The DualShock controller is associated with which console brand?
PlayStation.
PlayStation is correct. Paul and Ollie. Master Chief is the central protagonist of which series of FPS games?
That'll be Halo.
Halo's correct. Ravi and Joe.
I love Halo.
Asteroids, Missile Command and Breakout were all made by which arcade company?
Williams.
That's incorrect, I'm afraid. I'm going to hand that over.
It's Yeah, it's definitely Atari.
It is Atari.
Oh, we're only like 3 in!
Don't worry. Don't worry. It's only a few questions in. Don't worry.
Paul and Ollie.
Can I swap teams already?
You sounded so positive. You sounded
Come
so
on.
sure.
Come on. Here we go. The question number 6 for Paul and Ollie. Which Nintendo console directly followed the Nintendo Entertainment System?
Gotta be.
It was the Super Nintendo.
That's correct. Question number 7 for Ravi and Joe. The groundbreaking James Bond game GoldenEye 007 was exclusively released on which console?
N64.
N64 is correct. Paul and Ollie. Which Sega console was known as the Genesis in North America?
The Mega Drive.
Mega Drive's correct. Ravi and Joe. In which game might you find bashers, blockers, and floaters?
Lemmings.
Lemmings is correct. And final question in this round for Paul and Ollie. In which Sonic game did Tails first appear?
Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Sonic 2 is correct. There we go. Round 1 out of the way. That wasn't too bad, was it?
No.
Wow.
Maybe for Joe.
Taking Oliver.
So I think so far then, Paul and Ollie, you're in the lead. Is that correct?
God's
By
sake.
1 point. Right then.
Your reaction. Wow.
Starters with me to go on. I've been saying to him, I'm like,
Rattled already.
Okay, plenty of time to bring it back.
Sam, have you got another pen for us?
You like a pen?
Please.
Yeah, I think I'll
There we
take
go.
it.
There we go. That'll do.
Right then, well, number 2, bearing in mind you did get the arcade question wrong, I'm hoping you guys are going to be all right in this one because round 2 is all about classic arcade games.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
And we'll start with Ravi and Joe.
Let's write it down first.
Yes.
Question number 1. What item in the arcade game Burger Time stuns enemies?
Do you know? I'm going to take a stab in the dark. I'm just going to go for ketchup.
Ketchup. Incorrect, I'll hand it over.
That's Pepper.
Pepper is correct.
Oh, yeah.
For Paul and Ollie, what element of magic can the female Amazon cast in the game Golden Axe?
I think, let's wait.
Oh.
I think it's that.
It's a tough
She
one.
goes,
Isn't it?
I think
In
it's
Golden
that.
Axe.
In Golden Axe.
I think
Shall I
it's
go
that.
for it, yeah?
Yeah.
Lightning.
Lightning's incorrect. I'm going to hand it over.
It's fire.
Fire's correct.
I couldn't remember.
Question number 3 for Ravi and Joe. How does the player complete the final level in the arcade game Phoenix?
Pass.
That's okay, I'll hand it over.
Okay, there's a mothership. It's one of the first end of level bosses, and you have to shoot the strange kind of almost War of the Worlds creature, which is right in the middle. So you have to blast it. Have I given enough information?
Destroy the
to
alien
get
in the mothership I've
in
got.
the middle.
That
yeah,
is
right,
correct.
there you go, right, yeah.
We'll give him that. That's
So,
fair.
for Paul and Ollie, number 4. How many players can simultaneously play the 1989 arcade game Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yeah, you do it.
4.
4's correct. Ravi and Joe. Who is the final boss in the original Mortal Kombat arcade?
In the original, it is Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung's correct. Paul and Ollie. Which classic arcade features an amphibious character which the player must guide between cars and trucks?
What's that?
It's Frogger, right?
Frog
Yeah,
is
Frogger.
correct, yep. Number 7 for Ravi and Joe. Which vector graphic-based game sees the player attempting to fly a space capsule with limited fuel and replicating a feat a certain Mr. Armstrong had done 10 years prior to its release?
It's like landing on the moon, but
Oh, what is that called?
Enough rush, you guys.
I'm going to say Space War. It's not Space War, but
Incorrect, I'll hand it over.
It's written by Howard Delman, and it's called Lunar Lander.
Lunar Lander's correct. Paul and Ollie. Which live
Our arcade
action
brothers.
which live action laserdisc based game saw the player entering an old west town to defeat a gang of outlaws?
Hang on. What's that?
Yeah, Mad Dog McCree.
That is correct. Ravi and Joe. On which unique moving Sega arcade cabinet may you have played the games G-Lock, Air Battle, Galaxy Force or Power Drift?
was it called the G-Force?
Incorrect, I'll hand it over.
I think
Been
you
on
guys
one, but I
mentioned
didn't
this
know
on,
the
on one of
generic
your
name.
episodes.
It's been on the episode.
Are you sure it's not just called that?
No, I think it's called. Here's something.
Oh,
G. It's,
But he said that before.
Hydraulic.
was G-Lock one of the games? Is it G-Lock?
Incorrect, it was the Sega R360. And the final one,
Fair enough, yeah.
final one in this round then for Paul and Ollie. In which Namco arcade game would you fight a final boss called Wild Dog?
Namco arcade game.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Wow, dog.
You'd fight. Well, what's the fighting? I mean, what? They did that? What is it?
I'm just
All right, we
gonna
don't
guess
really know, so-
Time Crisis.
Time Crisis, correct. Well
yes.
done.
That was good.
Lucky
It
guess.
wasn't you.
Joe knew
Pull it
that
out
one.
the bag.
I could see Joe's face.
I was going to write it down. I was like, no.
I think that was pretty tight, that round. How are we looking there, Samantha?
Oh, no. Paul and Ollie have got it.
Yeah. Ooh, 6-2 Ravi and Joe,
Come on,
13 to
let's
Paul
step
and
up,
Ollie.
right. We're out of the arcades now. We're out of the old period.
Well, this
Joe,
one,
so
this one's all for you, Joe. This is the Sega round.
here we go. Time to shine.
Joe loves his Sega. And we are going to start
see.
with Ravi and Joe.
Okay.
On which Sega console would you use a VMU?
Dreamcast.
Dreamcast is correct. Paul and Ollie, what colour is the spiral on PAL Dreamcast consoles?
As opposed to
Blue.
Blue's correct. Ravi and Joe, in which Sega game might two aliens need to boom, clap, boom, boom, clap?
Say it again, boom, clap.
Go again.
Oh, what is it called?
I'll hand it over.
We
think we've got
it's
this one.
Ulala. So is it Space Channel 5?
Incorrect. Toe Jam and Earl 2 Panic on Funkatron is a game.
I was
it's a bit
thinking of the woman in the silver.
Yeah, they're both funky.
We're
games.
always
I
thinking.
couldn't remember. Yeah.
Okay, for Paul and Ollie, what does Sega stand for?
I know.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Can
Go
I
on,
go
Paul.
first?
Yeah, you can do it.
It's an abbreviation of Service Gaming.
That is correct. For Ravi and Joe, on which Sega game might you hear the songs Splash Wave and Magical Sound Shower? Come on, this is so easy.
What? Yeah, go for it.
Tubin.
Incorrect. I'm going to hand it over.
Right, I think it is. We think it is Outrun.
Outrun's correct. Well done. Question number 7 for Paul and Ollie. Which Sega handheld console played Mega Drive games?
Now is
It's-
it that one? Hang on, can we just... Is it that?
Yes, it is. It's the Nomad.
No, that's correct. Question 8 for Ravi and Joe. Which unreleased Sega console was a 2-in-1 Mega Drive and 32X?
The Sega Neptune.
Sega Neptune's correct.
Nice.
Well done.
Question 9 for Paul and Ollie. In which Sega game is the player greeted with the words, "Welcome to the Fantasy Zone"?
It's...
Oh, I know what it
it's
is.
that one. It's that.
Yeah, it's Space
Space
Harrier.
Harrier.
Is correct. And final question in this round then to Ravi and Joe. Which Mega Drive game starred a character called Chuck D. Head who throws his head as a weapon?
Chuck Rock.
Incorrect. I'll hand it over.
Hang on, it's...
Oh no! Oh, I know what it is.
Oh, too late. First answer.
You do it, go.
Decapitate.
Decapitate is correct.
You guys mentioned
Don't
that.
shout out.
How are we looking there, Samantha?
Literally 19 to 8.
19 to 8.
We're getting trashed this year.
I'm very sorry.
I thought that would have been the round that you guys brought it back. How good's your general knowledge?
You're not good apparently.
Should another general knowledge round?
Yep.
Here we go
Can
then.
I just say that me, Dan, and Ravi went out last night.
Excuses.
Okay then. We'll start this round then with Paul and Ollie. Question number 1. What was the title of the first in the series of hugely popular FIFA football games?
I think it's just called that. Because it hasn't got a date, has it?
Is it FIFA International Soccer?
I think it's just that. All right, it hasn't got a date on it, as far as we remember, so we think it's FIFA, just soccer? Or are you going to make us say international soccer?
FIFA International Soccer is correct.
Thank
Question number 2. In which game did players cure ailments such as transparency, bloaty head, and slack tongue?
Theme Hospital.
Theme Hospital is correct.
I was like panicking then. He went in with that. I was like,
Question 3 for Paul and Ollie. In which game would you find big daddies and little sisters?
It's that. You do it.
Definitely. It's Bioshock.
Bioshock's correct. Question 4 for Ravi and Joe. In which innovative game first released in 2000 do players create and control the regular daily lives of virtual people?
Sims.
Sims is correct. Question 5 for Paul and Ollie. Which Japanese company has produced titles such as Mega Man, Resident Evil and Devil May Cry?
Capcom.
Capcom's correct. Question 6, Ravi and Joe. First released on the PlayStation in 1997, before being remade on the PS4 in 2016, the 7th title of which RPG series is often described as one of the best games of all time?
Final Fantasy VII.
That's correct. Question 7 for Paul and Ollie. Brain Training, How Old Is Your Brain, and Big Brain Academy were hugely popular puzzle games released on which console?
They've been really well. I mean, it's that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The DS.
DS is correct.
Yeah.
Question 8 for Ravi and Joe. Ocarina of Time is a critically acclaimed instalment of which game series?
Legend of Zelda.
Correct. Question 9 for Paul and Ollie.
Thank you for that one.
Looking out for you. Which open world fantasy game includes titles such as Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim?
Right. Is it my turn? No, it's your turn. I think it's that.
It's Elder Scrolls.
The Elder Scrolls is correct. Final question in this round, number 10, to Ravi and Joe. Solid Snake and Liquid Snake first appeared in which video game?
Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid is right. So at the end of that round, Paul and Ollie have got 24, Ravi and Joe have got 13. You've got some catching up to do, guys. It can be done, though.
Merry Christmas.
If I remember correctly, last year as now, the situation was kind of reversed.
True. Yeah.
And we're now halfway through.
Well, he's halfway through his relentless.
I'm waking up, guys.
Yeah.
Round number 5 is about probably the most famous video games company in the world. Should we talk about Nintendo?
Please.
Here we go then. Round 5 is all about Nintendo. And we'll start with Ravi and Joe. Who developed the Donkey Kong Country game for the SNES?
Rare.
Rare is correct. Question 2 for Paul and Ollie. In what year was the GameCube first released?
Oh, hang on. That's a bit harder than Rare, that is. I think it's one of those two. I have a feeling it's that. Just after the... Oh, does that sound about right?
No, go for this one, I think.
I'm going to go 2002.
Incorrect. I'm going to hand it over.
2001.
2001 is
When you said go for this one.
Question 3 for Ravi and Joe. In which century was Nintendo founded?
It was in the 1800s, so the 19th century.
9th century is correct. 1889, to be precise.
Okay.
Question 4 for Paul and Ollie. What was the last ever console released under the Game Boy branding?
Ooh.
Oh, well, it'll be that. Sure it is. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we think it's the Game Boy Advance. I think technically SP.
Incorrect. I'm going to hand it over.
It's the Micro.
Micro is correct in 2005.
Nice one.
Well done.
Question number 5 for Ravi and Joe.
Yes.
What is required to play Game Boy games on a SNES?
The Super Game Boy.
Super Game Boy is correct. Question 6 for Paul and Ollie. What was the original development name of the Nintendo 64?
It was that.
There was another name before that, though, wasn't there?
That's the one they usually say, though. I think we should say that.
Oh, yeah, because that wasn't it.
Go on, go for it.
The Ultra 64.
I would have accepted Ultra 64 Project Reality. Yeah, both were.
Yes, that was the other name.
Good work, lads.
Okay, number 7 to Ravi and Joe.
Yeah, that was GameCube. wasn't
The
it?
Tetris theme music was turned into a top 10 chart hit in 1992. What was the name of the group who recorded it?
Dr. Spin.
Dr. Smith is correct.
Yes,
I don't know how you know that, Ravi.
And Andrew Lloyd Webber produced it.
It was,
as
yeah.
well.
I did not know that one.
All right, question 8 to Paul and Ollie. What's the best-selling Nintendo exclusive game of all time?
Well. Yes, that is right. It's just the word selling that we're querying. We think it's Wii Sports.
Wii Sports is correct. Well done. 82.9 million copies sold.
Yeah.
Question number 9 for Ravi and Joe. What is the best-selling Nintendo handheld system of all time?
Let me write this down.
It's that. It's honest.
Oh, handheld. No, it's. Yeah, we're gonna go for the DS.
Yeah, I'll let you have that one.
Yes.
Question number 10.
Oh, really?
Sorry, is that? Are you sure? It's got to. That means it sold over 140 million.
It's the second best-selling video game system after the PS2. There you go.
Yeah.
According to my
it sold
research.
more than the original Game Boy.
Yeah,
wow.
I was gonna go
We've
for
all
the
learned
Game Boy.
something.
And question number 10
I panicked. I was like, no,
for Paul and Ollie. Last one in this round. Which Nintendo game caused enough injuries in children to result in an $80 million settlement?
How were they injured? You sure it's not just the Wii control? Oh,
Time's running out.
I mean, all right, we don't really know. The Wii controller.
I'm going to hand it over.
Well, I've got two, and we're not too sure. But you want to go for that one? Are you sure? We're going to go for Mario Party. For
Mario Party is correct. Well done.
How were they injuring
They had to hand
them?
out gaming gloves because kids were getting blisters on their hands and everything from the
that
controls in it. Yeah.
That game is very painful
Yeah.
to play.
For many reasons.
And at the end of round number 5, Paul and Ollie on 26, Ravi and Joe on 20.
Okay.
Oh, there's some catching up in that round.
It was. Yeah.
It's getting intense again.
Oh, it's done halfway through
When
the
we got one back off you guys, then I was like, ah!
Right, well, this one should get back to some general knowledge for round number 6. And in this round, we'll start with Paul and Ollie. Question number 1. In emulation, what does MAME stand for?
Yeah. Should I just say it? It's
Yeah, go on then.
Multi-arcade machine emulator.
That's correct. Question number 2 for Ravi and Joe. Which 1984 NES game was themed around motocross racing?
Excite Bike.
That's correct. Question 3 for Paul and Ollie. Finish the PlayStation game title. Spyro the...
Dragon.
Dragon's correct.
And the Legend of the...
Question 4 for Ravi and Joe. The video game adaptation of which 1980s film was allegedly responsible for an industry crash in 1983?
Oh, E.T.
It is correct. Question 5 for Paul and Ollie. What kind of creatures are Banjo and Kazooie?
So, God, what would you call him? Is it more than that? And he's
What is it? Banjo is he a bear?
yes.
A bear and a bird.
A bear and a bird is correct. Question number 6 for Ravi and Joe. In which action-adventure video game would you find the characters of Larson Conway and Pierre Dupont?
Just go for it.
Broken Sword.
Incorrect, I'll hand it over.
Was that saying we'd written down question mark broken sword? Please, can you repeat the question? Is that
Okay,
right?
the question is, in which action-adventure video game would you find the characters of Larson Conway and Pierre Dupont?
It's not the one that did the body scoping thing.
Gonna need an answer.
Not back. Oh, God. Flashback.
No, incorrect. It was Tomb Raider.
Oh,
Never heard of it.
Yeah, who?
Question 7 for Paul and Ollie. In the Tomb Raider game, from which country is Lara Croft?
what?
Go on, you can
That
do
was
that, Paul.
slightly easier than it. I
Jamaica.
believe she's English.
Needed the first answer there. Okay, question 8 for Ravi and Joe. In which game series might you find the characters of Scorpion, Sub-Zero and Raiden?
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat's correct. Oh, it's a tough one. For Paul and Ollie, question 9. In Lemmings, how long does it take for a lemming to explode after being set on self-destruct?
I think it's that. They count- no,
I love
it's
lemming.
that.
I wouldn't have got that.
Go on then, go on.
I think the countdown's on 5, so
5 seconds is correct. Well done. Impressed.
Brilliant.
Final one in this round then for Ravi and Joe. Question 10. In the arcade game Bubble Bobble, what colours were the 2 dragons?
Green and blue.
Green and blue is correct. There we are. End of round number 6. Some good general knowledge answers in there.
We both.
I think steady that in it.
Yeah.
I think nothing's moved on that one, I don't think.
No.
We need to get more
think we
hardcore
both-
on the...
Okay, the end of round number 6, we have an update from the quiz mistress.
Quiz mistress. Get it
Slight,
right.
Slightly incorrect calculation last round, apparently, but we've told things up. It's fine.
Were you out drinking as well, Samantha, with these boys?
The current scores
was
are
actually.
Paul and Ollie 31, Ravi and Joe on 25.
Okay.
So 4 rounds left. Round number 7. And this one, good one for you, Ravi.
Well, we'll see.
Computers.
Great.
Now, if I remember correctly, this is the one that you guys massively lost last year, isn't it? Computers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See how we do this time, though. We're going to start with Paul and Ollie. In which year was Apple's first computer released?
Right. It's that or that.
Oh gosh.
Oh God. It's just,
Oh.
okay, 1977.
I'm going to hand it over.
1979.
Incorrect.
Six.
The Apple One was released in 1976.
That was our other choice.
So close. Ravi and Joe, question number 2. Name Atari's last computer, released in 1992.
Does a console count as a computer?
Oh, come on,
Well,
man.
it's Atari Jaguar because it is.
Incorrect. I'm going to hand it
He
over.
said 1992, so the computer did. Oh, well.
I thought it was. Oh no, was that never
Atari,
released?
right? Yeah, I think it is that. Yeah.
Well, you
It's
go.
the
You're
the Falcon.
Falcon's correct.
He's
Yeah.
writing it down as well.
Yeah.
Question number 3 for Paul and Ollie. Which operating system did the Acorn Archimedes run by default?
Is it called that? Oh God, I don't know what it's
that
called. That's the
Sounds familiar. You go for it. Yeah. I think we should go for that.
right. I'm not sure this is.
Oh, no,
this
wait,
is true, but I don't know if this is what you're looking for.
Wait.
You see, that's the. Oh, God.
Go
Right,
for it.
Brilliant answer.
It's Risk. That might not be RS.
Risk OS is correct. I'll
thank
accept
you,
Risk.
thank you. Right.
Question number 4 for Ravi and Joe. Don't know if you're going to get this one, Ravi. The Atari ST. You're a big fan of that system, aren't you? Yeah. How many controller ports did the Atari STE have?
I don't know why you're writing it down, Ravi. I've got no
I'd say
idea.
1.
Incorrect. I'm going to hand it over.
Oh. Okay. Well,
I think I actually have one of these. I haven't looked at it for years.
it's a
Wish you
question
did
that
now,
you'd
though.
think it would be more. So go for. I'd say that. Try that.
4.
4's correct.
Yes.
2 regular, 2
Atari
enhanced.
were cheaper.
Question number 5 for Paul and Ollie. Which version of Windows was released in 1995?
I hope that's not
Is
a
it a
trick
trick?
question.
No, this must be a trick question. Which version of Windows was released in 1995?
It's got to be. It can't be. That would be too cruel.
Was it ME? Was it? This might have been released earlier. You know how?
Oh Lord,
Go on,
it
do it.
feels so stupid. We've got it wrong.
Go
So,
on, do it.
is it Windows 95?
Windows 95 is correct.
You're playing with our minds.
That's the kind of question Ravi would have got wrong.
I was like, wait, what?
It just seems to slide.
No, I know what was through them because like FIFA 95 came out in 94 and yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking, yeah.
Question number 6 for Ravi and Joe. Apple acquired computer company Next in 1996. What was the name of their operating system which then formed the foundation of Mac OS X?
Oh my God.
Next step.
Next step is correct.
What?
Question 7 for Paul and Ollie. Name the low-cost budget home computer released by Acorn in 1983.
I've got this one.
Go for it.
It's the Electron.
Electron's correct. Question 8 for Ravi and Joe. How much RAM did the original ZX Spectrum have?
Yeah.
4K.
Okay, incorrect. I'm going to hand it over.
So you'd say RAM, didn't you?
Yep.
Right. Obviously, there's 2 versions, but if you send the original, then so we're saying 16.
16K is correct. Question number 9 for Paul and Ollie. Which variant of the Amiga chipset did the Amiga 600 have?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yep.
Oh, was it to us?
Which variant?
Sorry,
Paul's miles away.
yeah, I thought it was to them.
Which variant of the Amiga chipset did the Amiga 600 have?
Oh, we don't know stuff like that. I want to say a woman's name. Sorry,
Yeah.
just in general, I like. to say
Yeah,
a
go
woman's
for it.
name.
We're not very sure.
We don't know.
Okay.
Daphne.
I'll hand it over.
ECS.
ECS is
All right.
correct. Question number 10
Not a clue.
for Ravi and Joe. Final one in this round. Name the Amstrad PC, which also featured a built-in Sega Mega Drive.
Was it the Mega PC?
Mega PC is correct.
Good work, Ravi.
There we go. End of number 7. All about
okay.
computers. You guys feeling all right?
I thought we kept that close enough, and there's only a few rounds left.
Getting
so
a
we're
bit
all right.
shaky.
There was some tricky ones in there, Dan,
Yeah.
wasn't there?
Getting tough now, isn't it? How we look at the end of that round, Samantha? 37 to Paul and Ollie, 28 to Ravi and Joe.
So we got
pulled
behind
a little
one
bit
now.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right.
You can still bring it back though.
I feel like she's adding them up wrong because she doesn't like me.
Okay, here we go. You can bring it back on this one, Joe.
Yeah, I can.
This round is all about games consoles. This is your forte, isn't it?
Hopefully.
Heavy metal would be.
Well,
We'll start with Paul and Ollie. Question number 1. Name the console company founded in 1991 by former EA boss Trip Hawkins.
It was that. 3DO.
It's correct. Question 2 for Ravi and Joe. What is the best-selling games console of all time?
PlayStation 2.
It's correct. Question 3, Paul and Ollie. Which year was the Sega Dreamcast released in North America?
Or is it? Yeah, all that bit. You go. Let's. Yeah. Go on, Ollie. It's you.
Gonna need an answer.
1999.
99 is correct. Ravi and Joe. How fast was the Mega CD's built-in CD-ROM drive? Was it single, double, or quad speed?
Double.
Incorrect. I'm going to hand it over.
Okay.
Mega
so-
CD.
Mega
Yeah,
CD.
well, seeing as it's, I can't believe he would have asked it was single. So isn't it going to be
was
quad?
single then?
You-
What are you going to go for?
Really?
Need an answer?
Well, I'll leave it to you.
No,
but
wait,
I'd like to vote for that.
Actually, yeah, go for that. Yeah.
Well, I can't believe it just be so quad.
Incorrect. It was single.
It was.
I was going to go for single.
I can see it on Ollie's lips. Question number 5 for Paul and Ollie. Which company released a system called the GX4000 in
I know
1990?
that one. It is Amstrad.
That's correct.
Yep.
Ravi and Joe. Question 6. What CPU architecture was the original Xbox based on? PowerPC or Intel?
I would say PowerPC.
Incorrect.
Oh,
We,
No, it was
Have a
in our
guess.
defence,
Have a guess.
in defence,
No, it's
he'd written
Intel, 'cause-
I
Intel.
wrote Intel before he said
was
that.
direct
It is
Intel
Intel.
is correct.
Intel,
Okay. Paul and Ollie, question number 7. I know you love these ones, Paul. Not including the D-pad.
Oh, not this
You've
again.
learned from the past.
How many buttons are on the standard Atari Jaguar controller?
Oh my god.
Right.
So
So.
there's that in the middle. Because there's all.
I'll give him a bit longer to
there
add these
might
up.
even be- I don't know. There's.
Yeah, and
I
then
think.
there's the 3 main buttons.
The drawing the
Yeah.
diagrams
Red-
now.
And then there's
Yeah.
like one.
So that. Oh, is you know in the middle bit? Is there that
4
many?
of
Is there
them.
that many?
There's 2 in the middle. Start and
Three.
select.
Yeah. I'm not doing that. I mean the big pad. Is there 9?
9, I think.
Right. Okay. Then we've got 3 in the middle.
All right, guys, going to have to press you for an
And
answer.
then-
10 seconds.
Go, well, that. Go on then. 12.
13.
Incorrect. I'm going to hand it over.
23.
Incorrect. It was 17.
Oh, we wrote 16 down, and then I was like,
Those were 4 of 4, the 3, 2 in the middle. There you go.
It's a big bugger, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Beastie. It's that telephone keypad on it, isn't it? Question number 8, Ravi and Joe. What was the NES known as in Japan?
Oh, the Famicom.
It's correct. Question number 9 for Paul and Ollie. Which company manufactured the Neo Geo from 1990?
It was SNK.
SNK is correct. And question 10, final one in this round for Ravi and Joe. Which system did Nintendo release prior to the N64?
What, a home game console? Do you want the Super Nintendo or do you want a handheld?
Which system?
System
Which system?
prior, just before.
What does that say? Prior to the N64, so it
Yeah,
wouldn't be.
yeah.
It's going to be the Game Boy Pocket.
Incorrect.
Go on, Ollie.
I'll pass it over.
The Virtual Boy.
Virtual Boy's correct. Everyone forgets a Virtual Boy.
Always gives you a headache, mate. Headache.
That round's got to be pretty close. End of round 8, games consoles.
I knew it was one of the obscure ones. I was like,
So at the end of that round, Paul and Ollie 43, Ravi and Joe on 30. So that kind of means you've got to get every question right now, doesn't it, till the end of the quiz?
yeah, pretty much.
The heat is on.
Right, then this one, I mean, you mentioned the Game Boy there. You're a fan of handheld systems?
Yeah, I'm just hungover. Like,
He's a handheld game, surely.
yeah,
Well, this is all about handheld systems.
Here we go.
Round number 9, and we'll start with Paul and Ollie.
Again.
To write down because we've got to get everyone.
On which Nintendo system might you find the games Ball, Flagman, and Vermin?
Yeah, it's that. It's Game & Watch.
Is correct. Question 2 for Ravi and Joe. Name Atari's handheld system released in 1989.
Is it the Lynx?
Lynx is correct. Question 3 for Paul and Ollie. Was the Sega Game Gear closer in system architecture to the Master System or the Mega Drive?
It was the Master System.
Is correct. Question 4 for Ravi and Joe. Name the handheld system Nintendo released in 1996, which required fewer batteries and was smaller and lighter than the previous Game Boy.
Game Boy Pocket.
Is correct. Question 5 for Paul and Ollie. How many different models of the Atari Lynx were there?
Oh,
It's at least that.
yeah, I think it was.
Okay, we both agree, even though we might not be right. So we think 2.
2 is correct. Ravi and Joe. Name Nokia's handheld console phone hybrid that was released in 2003.
Engage.
Engage is correct. Question 8 for Paul and Ollie. What was Sony's first handheld PlayStation console called?
It was just called that, wasn't it? Yeah.
Is this a trick? Is it the little thing? Yeah, go for it, yeah.
Yeah, we're presuming you mean the PSP.
PSP is correct. Question 9 for Ravi and Joe. Which 2001 Nintendo handheld featured a landscape form factor as opposed to the previous generation's portrait design?
Game Boy Advance.
Is correct. And the final one in this round, question 10 for Paul and Ollie. The GameCube's Game Boy adapter allows you to play games from which models of the Game Boy on a big screen?
The Game Boy Advance. Sorry, the GameCube Game Boy player.
Yeah,
Game Boy
and
Advance
just-
and Game Boy.
Game Boy
That's
Color.
their first
They
answer,
follow?
Dan.
Full list?
Game Boy
Game Boy-
Color.
the Game Boy-
which is technically a different
Sorry, did you say the
system.
GameCube player?
Come on, man.
Which variant?
No, come
Which
on,
model?
man.
Actually, you have said them all.
Thank you. I thought there was 3.
They haven't. They haven't.
If you'd
Game
said
Boy
which 3, but we've
But it's
carried
not
on
3.
talking. We've said 3.
You have said 3. They did say 3. Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance
Thank
cartridges.
you.
Yeah.
Wait, what? What was the question?
So
Okay.
said all 3.
The GameCube's Game Boy adapter allows you to play games
yeah,
from
no, that's
which
fine.
models?
That's fine.
You're right now.
That's
You're happy, Joe.
that now, mate. Thanks very much.
I was like, what? Wait, what?
Oh, the
thought I
tension in this room.
So we got that right, yeah?
Yeah, you got it right. You got it right.
So there we go. There's only one round remaining now. Teams.
Don't give us a score.
Leave it tense. Give them hope.
There are some sour faces in the studio. 48,
They've won.
Paul and Ollie. 35, Ravi and Joe.
Let's just try and catch up, just so we would.
Should we do this last one then? Just for fun.
Just for fun.
And let's finish on a general knowledge round. It's not going to be a difficult one. It's going to be easy, I'm sure it is. Give you a fighting chance then, lads. We'll start this round with Ravi and Joe. You all right with that, yeah? Okay.
Yes, cool.
They're not breaking out a sweat.
Well, you started with them the last 3 rounds. So.
Just the way the questions fell. Okay. Ravi and Joe, how much RAM does the Commodore 64 have?
I just bought one.
Come on.
64k?
Yeah, correct. Please in the name.
I was like, I don't know, I'm panicking.
Can I say they're a bit of a late adopter there? He's only just bought
My
one.
first 8-bit.
Big waiting time on them. Question 2.
Way before my time.
for Paul and Ollie. What game was Michael Jackson's first official video game?
It's that one, isn't it? I can't believe this.
Yeah, go for it.
Moonwalker.
Moonwalker's correct. Question 3 for Ravi and Joe. Originally a NES classic, which game was remade 16 years later in 2004 as a 3D hack and slash platformer for the Xbox and PlayStation?
I don't know, SNES.
No, it wasn't. He said the original NES. So it was
NES, okay.
So 1984. Wait,
it?
say it again. Say the question.
Okay,
again,
I'll repeat it
sorry.
for you. Originally
No.
a NES classic,
Yeah.
which game was remade 16 years later in 2004 as a 3D hack and slash platformer for the Xbox and PlayStation?
Was it Ghouls and Ghosts?
Incorrect. I'm going to hand that over.
Because then they have
Well,
Maximo.
what we could,
Let's think about this.
if we don't know, let's guess that, because that would also really piss them off if that was right.
That would have
Do you know?
Come on, guys.
Right.
Can you
So
Go for it,
they
go for
said. So we want to say Ghosts and Goblins.
Incorrect.
Just in case.
Ninja Gaiden was the game.
Oh yeah.
Everyone forgets a 3D one.
Yeah.
Question
There
number
was 3 of them as well.
Question number 4 for Paul and Ollie. What is Mario's original name and occupation in the game Donkey Kong?
Please, yeah. He's just called Jumpman, and he was a carpenter, not a plumber.
That's correct. Question 5
Like Jesus.
for Ravi and Joe. Everybody knows that Mario's main squeeze is Princess Peach. But back when he was known as Jumpman, he had eyes on another woman. What was her name?
Pauline.
Pauline's correct.
Can I just...
Toadstool, we have the toadstool, everything.
Lady,
Lady.
when he was called Jumpman. But we'll give you that. We'll give you that.
Was
But he
that a
Lady.
sympathy? Lady Pauline. Okay, question 6.
Sorry.
For Paul and Ollie. On which 2 video game consoles did 1996's Resident Evil get released originally?
Yeah, so it'll be that one and that one.
Yes, the PlayStation and Sega Saturn.
Is correct. Question 7 to Ravi and Joe. What was the name of the first cartridge-based video game console?
Oh, I know this.
Wow. That's kind of debatable. What does that say?
Yeah.
No, that didn't have cartridges.
Yeah, okay.
That didn't have cartridges.
Need an answer off you? Have a guess.
We'll just.
Have to hand it over.
We're so proud. We like to do this in unison because it came out, I think, a year before Atari's.
Go on
It
then.
is the
Fairchild
Channel
Channel
X.
Is correct.
Sorry. I didn't know.
X-rated. Question number 8 for Paul and Ollie. What is the currency in the Legend of Zelda series?
You go for it, yeah.
Have we got it right?
Yeah.
It's rupees.
Rupees is correct.
Rupees?
Rupees. Question number 9 for Ravi and Joe. Cole Johnson is from which Grand Theft Auto game?
San Andreas.
That's correct. And the final question in the quiz for Paul and Ollie. In Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games and the TV show, which turtle wears the blue bandana?
Thanks, Dan.
Oh my gosh, I don't think I know this.
We can name the 4, so we've
Oh,
got one
is
in
that we
4.
first
I
answer?
don't think I know.
Do you know?
Go and have a guess.
No.
I think should we guess Donatello?
Yes.
Let's go
We're guessing
Donatello.
Donatello.
It's
I'm going to hand it over. Leonardo is correct. There you go, boys. You got one back at the end.
Yeah, you can have that, Turtle Boys.
How close was it?
Do we need to top the scores up to know who's won?
Well, we know who's won.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it's
Give me the final scores, quiz mistress.
53 to 39.
well done, guys.
53 to
Thank you.
39.
Well done, guys.
That means Paul and Ollie are once again crowned the Retro Hour podcast reigning champions.
Well done, guys.
Thank you for having
2017.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
That was great.
So, thank you. Again, we want to go for the triple crown.
Hat trick.
Please, can we come back next year? Unless you want to bring in more teams. But
Yeah,
we're up for definitely doing
Yeah,
next
but
year.
I think we'd
us
have
back.
to get more microphones.
They'll get rid of us now.
And more knowledge, Ravi.
Yeah,
And more knowledge.
more knowledge.
And Samantha has actually got you guys a little prize there too. So.
Oh, look at that.
Oh my God! It's an original
brilliant.
signed copy of Legend of Zelda by Miyamoto. That's amazing. Thanks.
Coated in sugar.
This is far better.
A valiant effort though, Retro Hour team.
It's good. We're against professionals here.
Yeah. And it would be rude to beat the guests, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
But honestly,
Just courtesy.
well done, guys. Really enjoyed it. And please do join us again next year. Come back. Maybe even make it 3 years in a row.
They probably were. Like I say, I actually asked on like the third question if I could swap teams.
Maybe we should do a swap around next year.
Could
Yeah.
We'll
do.
see.
Or we could even get more teams.
We'll get more
Oh,
teams.
maybe.
We'll probably still come last round.
The two Sega fans together, we could join up.
Oh, okay. Next year's going to be interesting. You've got a year to do some more revision.
I know.
But thank you so much for checking out our second annual Retro Hour Super Quiz. Really enjoyed it. Thanks to the teams for being here as well. Thank you for listening in 2017, as this is actually our last episode of the year.
Yeah, totally. We're finished at the moment.
Yeah, so Ravi's need a week off to get over that thrashing there, I think, don't we? So, so thank you for listening, and Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.